Good evening, everyone. This is Pamela Marie Edmunds with the Pet Detectives Radio Show. I am your host. I am an evidential medium. I am an animal communicator, pet detective on the channel. I also host another show called Love Never Dies, which airs same time on Wednesday nights. And I am a teacher. I feel like a lot of these shows that I'm working with will be me teaching those of you that want to listen, those of you that want to learn. So, and tonight is one of those shows. Okay, that's one of those shows. I first want to add here before I start talking. Right behind my screen here right now is my mascot, my show's mascot, Sylvester. And he's already got himself nice and comfy, cuddled all up just to be here and support us. He is black and white. He is a tuxedo kitty. And you'll hear more about Sylvester at another time. But tonight, we're going to talk about Earthangel. Who is Earthangel? If you can see this on the screen. Okay. This is Earthangel as a puppy. And he's in the RV that I owned. And he and I were traveling around the state of California. For those of you that are from the East Coast, which I am too, California is a very, very big state. You cannot drive from one side to the other in a day. Being from Massachusetts, now living in Sedona, Arizona, where I'm broadcasting this show from, you could drive from one state to another and possibly into a second one, depending upon which states that you were in. So it's a totally different experience. But Earthangel, I'm going to show his I'm going to say this is his first picture, his first snapshot that I ever took of him. He's probably about 3 or 4 months old. And as you heard me say, I am a medium. And spirit guides me to do things at times when they have great importance in my personal life or in my business life. Well, in this case, I didn't know at the time, but Earthangel again, he was to be part of both. And it's interesting, the time, I'm in Sedona right now, been living here for, give me a minute, 4.5 years, and was guided to come out here. Did also lived out here for a couple of years back at the beginning of 2000, maybe 2001. And if you look at Earthangel's picture, I don't know if you can tell, you see a little bit of linoleum, and then you see carpet. Well, he is in our RV, okay? And the carpet is right in front. Okay, that carpeted piece that's the engine cover. And it's all nicely thick carpeted, shag carpets, an older camper. And he used to curl up on top of it while I drove. So, how did Earthangel come into my life? This is important. I was living in Sedona at the time and had thought about getting a dog, but didn't really do anything about it and thought, well, you're just living in an RV, you don't want to get anything too big. Well, maybe something that's a lap dog, okay? And at the time, back then, I didn't have a cell phone. Now, you got to remember, cell phones are still kind of new back then. This is 2000, I said 2001, 2002. What I had instead was a beeper, because I lived in the RV And I often would stay on the various national forests, the parks, etc., different places like that. So I had a beeper, and people who would call me on a particular number, and the beeper would go off, and then I would proceed to back then, a payphone, which I don't think there are too many of those left anymore. And so I was driving to a payphone to answer a call, to get my message. And as I'm driving down the road, I saw a sign for a animal rescue. The sign was on the left side of the road, and it was pointing down this particular street as I drove through the intersection. Okay. I recognized, I saw it, thought about it, let it go. Went down, got my message, and this particular sign would not leave my mind. The way I interpret it is, it was my guides telling me, you need to go here. And I said, okay, I'll do it. That was how I, would kind of accept, knowing that they always knew what was best for me. Okay, they always knew what was best for me. So I went to the shelter. I believe it's called the Verde Valley Animal Shelter. It's somewhat south of Sedona. I walked in knowing I was going to look at a dog. The first dog I looked at, well, kind of a little bit on the big side, but he had already been adopted. So I went down to the next cage, and I saw this dog curled up way in the back of the cage. Just a long cages, so to speak, long pens, I guess I'll call it. He's curled up in a doggy bed. Everybody else in the place is barking and upset, saying something, like they're talking, saying, come get me, come get me. Well, this particular dog was curled up and didn't say a peep. Was just there curled up. I asked to see the dog, and I knew that I was supposed to get it. I came back the next day with a male friend who was in my life at the time. And the minute he picked the dog up, put the dog up to his chest, the dog started licking his face. I knew this dog was going home with me. Okay, so this is back about 2000, 2001. And at the time, I was doing a radio show, the previous one to this, or one of these. I was doing a show called Bridge Between Two Worlds. And that evening, I was going to be doing it out of the studio, which meant me to drive down to Phoenix, 2-hour drive. And I have this little puppy dog I just adopted. So on the road, I asked my guides, well, what do I name him? I'm not sure. What do you think I should name him? I heard the word angel. And interestingly enough, the guest I had that night, we were going to talk about angels. This person was connected to the angels. And that's what we were going to talk about. Okay? But when I heard the word or the name angel, it just didn't feel completely right. There was something that wasn't right about it. So did the show, came home, and I'm staying in the RV. And the next day, I'm taking the dog out for a walk in an RV park. And now you got to understand, being in the area of Sedona, many people are very accepting of you talking about angels, talking about loved ones on the other side, past life regression, the list goes on and on. So I'm walking the dog, and a woman comes up. She says, oh, you got a new dog. And I said, yeah. And she said, well, what'd you name him? I said, well, I heard the name Angel, but for some reason it didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right. She says, well, that's not his name, Angel. You know what his name is? His name is Earth Angel. He's an Earth Angel. And I liked that. I felt like that was my guidance. And Earth Angel became my baby, my right-hand man, I'll call it, because I was then traveling from various fairs and health, what's the word I want to use? Expos and fairs throughout California. And he was my companion in the RV. So he was with me. And at some point, I got homesick and wanted to come back east. See, I'm out here in the West, want to come back east. So I sold the RV and he came along with me back east. So he was very much a companion of mine, very important, curled up with me. In some ways, he was a bit of a healer for me, okay? But he was also a protector, even though he wasn't a real big dog. People would look at him and say, I'm not going to mess with that lady. I see she's got a dog there. I don't know how the dog's going to react. You know, that's the way it is. That's what happens. So I came back east, rented a home, Earth Angel and I had a healing room. Now, I mentioned I do a lot of communication, different types of communication, but I also have been trained in a number of healing modalities too. Hypnosis, Reiki, and some other unique modalities that use attunements, where you're actually connecting with an energy on the other side, like the angels or an ascended master. Well, Earth Angel used to hang out when my clients would come. And I had one of these reclining chairs, those fold-up ones, you know, and the client would sit in that, and very often the Earth Angel would sit up in his or her lap, almost like he's grounding them, he's helping out with the healing. Now, looking back at this animal was more of a healer than I realized, and was very attracted to being around people, very much so. And he used to travel with me to, obviously, fairs. I used to serve churches and did services. He'd hang out in the car while Mommy was there. He was really a big part of this. And I didn't understand how much of a healer he really was. Now, one challenge with having pets is they don't live as long as we do. And I'm sure many of you understand this, that their lives are only going to be so long. During our lifetime, we can have several pets, because I need to say, they're going to pass on to spirit. They're going to head to the spirit world sooner than we do. Well, I knew he was getting older. I knew he'd had some health issues. Didn't hear real well. He was walking slower. And he had all this gray in his hair now. He wasn't just black like a little puppy, okay? And actually you can't see it in this picture. Sorry. This is the last picture that was ever taken of him, okay? You can't see it as much, but you can tell he's a mature animal, extremely mature. It's almost as if he has gained a lot of knowledge, is what I'm feeling here while I'm looking at the picture, okay? From being here. Now I'm going to say he was, this picture was taken a couple weeks before he passed. And say he was about 14 years old, okay? And where was the picture taken? Not the East Coast. The picture was taken here in Sedona, Arizona. I got a very strong nudge from Spirit. I call it a nudge. And for those of you who work with Spirit can understand what I'm saying. That I needed to be out here. I needed to come back and live here. I had visited here numerous times. And every time I would come near the red rocks, the gorgeous, energetic red rocks, I got very teary. It was as if my heart and soul was calling me here. Okay? So, Earthangel and I moved here. Earthangel was my companion driving cross country, my little protector, my little healer. Drove from Massachusetts to Sedona, Arizona. I'm going to tell you, I did the driving in 5 days. No, don't do that. Not when you're alone or just you and the dog. If you have another driver, that's okay, right? But I did allow myself one quiet day. I think I allowed myself about a week to make the trip, okay? And arrived out here, totally trusting Spirit. Didn't have any work lined up. Had a friend's house I could stay for a short time. And had some money in the bank, but didn't know what else I was doing. Okay. So Earthangel and I arrived here in Sedona the night of Christmas night of December 2015 to just see the sun going down, and I was able to take some pictures of the beautiful red rock before that happened. Gorgeous place, gorgeous. Well, Earthangel got sick shortly after we got here. Now, he's 14 years old. And I already knew that the heat wasn't going to be real good for him when that started. I was kind of wondering what I was going to do about that. But I want to say my guides knew that Earthangel his days were numbered. Okay. So, gotta remember, I'm a medium, okay? I'm a medium, and I can tune into loved ones on the other side. I often will include in a message an animal come in. Okay? Yet I didn't do a lot of work with animals. So here I have Earthangel, my beloved buddy, was tied to my hip, sick, and getting ready to leave the planet. I had to take him to the vet and have him put to sleep. It's the first animal I've ever done that with by myself. And for any of you, it's a very difficult decision to make. But you know what I did? Because of the gift of communication with my guides, my higher self, etc., I put out some prayer the night before. He was sick. When I came home, he had, you name it, every kind of accident in the house. And to me, that was really telling me that his body was shutting down. And we cuddled in bed that night, and I kept praying and asking for guidance, already knowing that this vet up right around the corner was open at 8 a.m. So I showed up at the door at 8 o'clock in the morning with the dog and told them that I needed to put him to sleep. He was very sick. He'd already been to the vet since we came, and I needed help with that. His ashes were scattered here in Arizona, where I adopted him. Interesting, huh? Full circle, bring him full circle. So how did it come about? Earthangel, a guide? How can a dog be a guide for us? That almost sounds crazy, doesn't it? No, it's not. Give me a minute. Let me get a sip here. Okay. Obviously, I had to grieve him. Obviously, as I was, what's the word I want to say? As I was centered and balanced emotionally, I could feel his presence. I knew he was there. At some point shortly thereafter, I had an opportunity. I was in the right place at the right time. We have some more people joining us. Thank you. If you're joining us now, please mute your microphone. Okay, I don't see where it is to mute my microphone here. Thank you, dear. Thank you. And I'm still sharing the story. And if anybody who's come in here late, this will be on YouTube before the night's over, on my YouTube channel, Pamela Marie Edmunds. Okay. But Earthangels passed. I had to put him to sleep. And I'm going to just show for people who are listening. I don't know how well you can see this picture, but this is the last picture I ever had taken of him. And if you look at the bed that he's on, the blanket, if you look, it's got kind of a Southwest flavor to it. This is the hotel room we were staying in. And the picture was taken, I say, a couple weeks before he passed, in the month of, it was January 2016. And it devastated me. It just devastated me. And I totally understand how people can be so caught up in the loss of a loved one, especially a pet. This little guy was with me 24 hours, 7 days a week. If I had to go off somewhere shopping or whatever, I'd rush home to make sure he got out to do his potty, he got fed, and he got loving from Mama. So I was devastated. And do you know the difference when you experience the loss of a pet? The void it makes in your life, it's huge. It's like okay, Earthangel was tied to my shoestring, apron strings, if you understand the expression. He was tied to me, my hips, because we were that close. And because I was his mommy, I took care of him. I loved him. So I had an opportunity. It just sort of landed in my lap, like things happen when they're supposed to, for people listening, to be part of a past life group, a group past life regression out here in Arizona. This was probably a month or two after Earthangel left and went to spirit. Well, in that particular regression, the minute I shut my eyes, I sensed him real close to me. He was with me. It didn't surprise me, because basically that I quiet myself, spirit comes in. That's what happens. We raise our vibration, they lower theirs to us. The animals do the same thing. Okay. So what ended up happening, I went back to a lifetime where Earthangel was my dog as a young girl. Another lifetime where he was special. He didn't look the same, but I knew it was his energy. I had gone, I believe I lived at a farm, and I had gone to another farm where they had a dog that had puppies, and I went and picked out a puppy to take home. And Earthangel's spirit, Earthangel's soul was in that puppy. And he grew up with me as I got my later teens. He got sick and he died, and I had to bury him. And I realized, and this is for people to understand, when we're living in this spiritual world here now, I'm going to say we're in a physical being, but we're aware of the spiritual person that we are very susceptible to have emotional remembrances of other lifetimes. Well, I discovered the grief I was feeling with Earthangel from him passing in this current lifetime and that lifetime were all meshed in together. And I ended up needing to do some sort of healing work to help to release that. But you know what that did? That helped me being able to connect with this little guy, to release that emotion so he could start communicating to me as my little spirit guide. I didn't have a clue. When I went to adopt him, when I was guided to follow that sign to the Verde Valley Animal Shelter and to fall in love with him, my guides were leading me because first, I needed him in my life to support me, to be my comfort, my companion. Okay? And he was a great companion, right? My man, okay? My man. Yet, there was a bigger picture for him to come in and be a guide and communicate to me. His communication isn't just to me as mommy, as his stepmother, his pet mother is the term I want to use. He has a bigger picture and it's still unfolding. Earthangel and I can travel in spirit together. He can channel through me and bring through messages. He's assisting in helping find lost pets, whether they're here on this plane or they're past the other side of life. The stories I have already are phenomenal. He's become a part of a group that I'm involved with called Pet Detectives International, the cold case unit, with June Elaine Evans, the New Hampshire medium in New Hampshire, and several other, what's the word I want to say, powerful animal communicators and mediums. And the animals, they want respect. They want healing for all the animals that have been abused. And Earthangel is one of the ringleaders. Okay. How does he let me know he's here? Usually with just, I hear simple Earthangel. That's what I hear in my head, Earth Angel. Same way with other people that are in my family or close to me. If I just hear their name, it's like they're there, and then I sense their energy. Earth Angel, he usually comes in and lets me know his presence in another way. I want to say like my arm's distance here. And you know, I can only see so far. I can just barely see the tips of my finger if I'm looking straight, okay? He'll be right here. I get a glimpse of him, a whisper of him, and his beautiful tail. I don't know if you can tell his tail in these pictures. He's got a curled tail and like a little plume, all right? And what he does is he wags that beautiful tail. And it's like, hi, Mom, I'm here. Or he's acknowledging something that's happening or I'm saying or somebody else who's with me is saying. It's like, I'm wagging the tail, letting you know I'm here, but I'm also wagging it saying, that's right, that's right. So, Earth Angel is a spirit guide now. And you know what? He loves his mommy very much. Mommy loves him too. And he's been supporting me through some health issues I've gone through. And I'm pretty much on the other side of it. So grateful. But he lets me know I'm not alone. He comforts me. He's that little healer that he was during his physical time here. And the healer that he has become on the other side. Because he's wanting to help other animals. And one thing that's so important that I and my fellow detectives in the pet detective work, part of our mission is to give a voice to the animals. You bet. There's too much going on out there that is totally disrespectful for animals. Too much neglect. The list goes on. So tonight, I'm going to open this up. Oh, one more thing. Yes, thank you. I was just looking at Earth Angel's picture and something else just came to me. Thank you, buddy. He wants me to let you people know. He doesn't just communicate to me. He communicates to several other people. One in particular is a dear friend, June Elaine. She just happened to meet him before he passed. And she had a sense when she was with him that he wasn't going to be around that much longer. Little did we know that those moments, those memories were about building a relationship between the two of them. He comes in to assist her. He joins the many other animals, spirit animals, who assist us in looking after the rest of the animals, helping find someone lost, helping to change the laws regarding the animals. It's give them a voice. So Earth Angel he's still my baby. Yes, excuse me, Sylvester, I apologize. You're also my baby now. And I do need to say, my beloved Earth Angel, I do feel was had a big hand in helping me adopt Sylvester. Sylvester's a healer too. There's more stories. Sylvester communicates to me. I communicate to him. It's another whole level of communication. But he's also there to help humanity. So I want to welcome everyone who's here tonight. I just want to remind you all that I am Pamela Marie Edmunds, and that this tonight's show here, this recording, will be placed on YouTube sometime tonight on my YouTube channel. That's Pamela Marie Edmunds. And when you go to listen to this or any of the other recordings that are there, please check like if you like them. Please share them with other people. And please subscribe to my channel. When you subscribe to my channel, what ends up happening is you're notified when new videos are posted. Okay, wonderful. So people need to get in touch with me about this show. This is the Pet Detectives radio show. You want to find out what's going on. You want to find out the contact information to get in to listen to the show in the Zoom room. That information is on my website. That is PamelaMarieEdmunds.com, okay? It'll also give you information on how to connect with my other show, Love Never Dies, and events that I'm doing. And of course, services, as I do readings, various types of readings, pets, mediumship, life path readings. Also, I do trance mediumship or channeling, whatever term you want to call it, with a number of powerful masters, etc. So I would like to open this up now for people who are listening, if they want to talk and ask me some questions and share a little bit here in regards to tonight's subject, which is how a dog named Earthangel became my spirit guide. Because I'm sure you must all be a little like, huh? Well, how does that happen? Well, you follow your intuition, you follow the guidance. Anybody like to share? Got another 20 minutes we can talk. I don't know if you want to hear me talk all night. Hello?
Well, I know that when my cat passed away, I just acquired her one night at work. I had gone to an old farmhouse and it was a hot summer
Yes.
night. And when I got in my car and I was cruising down the highway doing about 60 and the windows were open and I felt a tickle on my arm, and after the third time I happened to look and there was a cat and she scared the shit out of me. And I called the woman and I said, "Do you have a black and white cat?" And she said, "Yes, Daisy." "Oh God, where is she?" I said, "She's with me." She said, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm almost home." And she goes, "Well, you know, we got 1,000 cats here on the farm. You can just keep her."
Oh.
And she came in and just basically took over the house like she was Queen Turd. And I don't know how old she was when I acquired her, but I had her for about 15 years. So when I found her gone, I was like, what am I supposed to do now? Because I could still feel her jump on the bed at night when I slept.
Okay.
And I thought, I'd sit up and look and went, okay, I'm not crazy. I felt something jump on the bed and walk up.
Yeah.
So I said, all right, I'm just going to get used to it. And she's still around. So along with my mom's dog. So it's like, yeah, people are always jumping on my bed at night.
Well, and it sounds to me like you've got mediumistic abilities that you're enhancing, and they're helping you enhance them, right?
Well, when my son passed, I told a friend of mine that I had, after a couple of hours, I didn't know what to do. So I just went to the beach, which is my happy place.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a guy probably 50 feet to my right, and there was a group of people lighting sparklers on the beach. And all of a sudden, I like whipped around because somebody had run by me. And of course, nobody's running because the ocean's there.
Yeah.
But this big black thing just like whipped by me and went behind me that I turned around to look. And I thought, that has to be my son. Nothing on this earth is going to move that fast unless it's spirit. People were looking at me like I was totally crazy.
Right.
But I thought, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So when I told a friend, she said, well, he made his rounds and you were his last stop.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I know when he's here.
Thank you. And this is Lori, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Lori. Great.
You're welcome.
Thank you for sharing that. And we have a couple other people in the audience. I would love to hear some thoughts or questions or something from one of them. Hello? You don't have to identify self by name if you don't want to. Hello? I hear a humming. Somebody's there. Somebody's got their mic open. No?
Okay, I'll go if Christina won't.
Ah, okay,
This is
okay.
Fiona Lane, and hello to Lori and Walter, her son, who's here with us. He is one of my guides. And also, thank you to Earthangel helping guide me in here because I was having a hard time getting in, but that's okay. But also, hello to Christina, and her dog is here, Romeo, which is why I was hoping she'd come up with some questions
Right.
regarding her and Romeo,
Right.
or a tale or two.
Well,
Thank
well,
you, Pamela.
yeah, we've got plenty of time to continue to talk here. So, did you get to see this? As a matter of fact, I Earthangel asked me to send you a copy. Did you see that?
Yes, and I love you, Earthangel, and I'm Auntie June to him.
Yes.
Auntie
yes.
June. Yes, I adore him.
Yes.
That look up there is the look, the last time I saw Earthangel was that look. He looked at me as if to say, I'm not going to be here. And I didn't know. He said, take care of mom. So that's all I remember.
Ah.
I'll take care of mom.
Aw.
And there he is. Look at him now. Christina.
I know,
Right.
I know. This whole Pamela's whole story tonight. I mean, I'm sitting here. I'm like, I should have brought tissues. I'm getting all emotional.
Oh. But
It's
can you
very
see why I was drawn to him too, hon?
yes, I do. And it just
Yeah.
the similarities, and even the tail. Romeo had the same tail. The similarities of you saying, "Oh, that was my man." That was like, I got him right around the same year you got Earthangel, and he was here till 18. It's a long time for a pet, and say that was my child. That was my child, and I find that people, when you lose a pet, people don't treat it the same as when you lose a human, right? Which is difficult because I think that for those of us losing them, the grieving process needs to be the same, or it needs to be treated as severe as it is. But you said you had to bring him in. Same thing. The whole experience is it's devastating. And then for them to decide one day to let you know that they're not really gone, it makes you so grateful in a way.
There's Romeo right there. You handsome baby. Earthangel. Earthangel is Earthangel. This is Earthangel stepping back and asking me to put Romeo up for people to see.
Well, Earthangel will communicate to June.
Yeah.
And who does he communicate to, June, Lane?
I'm sorry?
Oh, I can't.
I couldn't,
Well, I think he shows up for a few more of the teams, shall we say. I'm not positive, but I want to address this with Christina. Part of the reason I mentioned this, the part of my story about the past life regression,
Mm-hmm.
first off, was to show that he was around me, okay?
Right.
And that I could tune into him, and then that we had had that experience. But I want to tell you is when we lose a loved one, a pet or a person, we can have energy from another lifetime that's being also released. Because what ends up happening is we see Earthangel and I, we have a soul connection, all right? And that's different than every relationship we have in our life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when we have this tremendous grief, part of it could be because we have been together before.
Right.
And I
Pamela,
wanna
do
tell
you
that.
think that like deja vu comes into play with past life? Is that something that you believe in?
Absolutely.
Okay. I mean, I've always wondered that.
I've had many experiences.
Yes.
And I want to tell you, June Elaine and I have become very sisterly, and that we clearly have a, should I say, soul connection.
Right.
I have a beloved sister. Lori is her name. I'm the oldest. She was number 2. So we used to share bedroom. Okay, there were
Yeah.
4 of us growing up. So she and I would share a bedroom. And of course, the 2 years apart made us closer.
Close.
She
Yep.
was my first playmate.
Right.
Well, she opted to kill herself in her teens.
Okay.
And I tell you the tremendous emotional upheaval I had from that.
Yeah.
Because I discovered she and I had a soul connection. It's a deeper bond. And therefore, when loss like that is triggered,
Mm-hmm.
it's more intense. But
Okay.
in these times here on this planet, we need to release that stuff, get it out somehow. Okay? That's why, for example, I used to do past life regressions with people for myself, but also was trained to do it to help other people. There's so many different ways we can access those. They're just below the surface.
Okay. Okay. The other thing I thought was interesting that you said was about Sylvester and you thinking that Earthangel had a play in that. Because just about a week ago, I had said to somebody, I have 2 Maine Coons, which I got when Romeo was still here.
Yes.
But I also have another cat who a friend of mine had, she had like 6 of them. And the boys were picking on this one. So I said, bring her over to me. I love the Maine Coons. But this one, I just have that feeling that Romeo sent her to comfort me somehow. You know, there's a different connection there with her and I.
Okay. You're now leading me to share something else, which I know a couple other people listening. And of course, we're going to have future people listening who aren't here with us live right now, okay? And I do want to say, you know, please keep passing on and sharing these with people that may have interest, okay? Because people that are listening to these, the numbers are climbing, okay? That's awesome. What I wanted to say is something else between Earthangel and Sylvester. There is something called, well, first off, I do some trance work, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Other beings overshadow me to communicate through me, okay? People can feel the energy, They can sense the energy around me. And the communication that comes through me is not me. They're still using my consciousness, my vocabulary, right? But it's not me speaking the way they choose to talk, the dialect, the words they pick, etc. Well, someone brought this up to me, that Earthangel was doing something similar to that. The term is another term called walk along. But what I want to say is Earthangel can overshadow Sylvester. Sometimes I recognize it right away. Other times it's kind of like I have to talk about it to somebody, and then I realize it's like, oh, Earthangel was here. I've had a number of times I will start talking about Sylvester and I'll say Earthangel's name. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I also want to say, have you ever seen a cat fetch a ball?
Not typically, no. But he does.
Sylvester will fetch a ball. And at first, I just thought it was super cute.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it's a ball that would be a cat ball, okay?
Right.
It's one of the little cages with the bell in it, okay?
Yes.
And I actually have a couple recordings of that on my phone. Well, it was pointed out to me that that was Earthangel.
Yes. Yes. Right.
And it makes total sense to me.
Yep.
Why not?
Right. Well,
And-
Romeo never fetched a ball, so I have no chance of the cat doing it.
But it's just awesome to see the connections that animals and people can do that are familiar. So I mean, like, people can overshadow us, animals can overshadow an animal. And it's just powerful. It's just powerful. So I felt that was, matter of fact, that was an important share for people to understand and think about. Our loved ones, whether it be a person or a pet, are still around us with that love, and somehow they're communicating to us. Somehow they're still interacting with us.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be aware of that.
Yes.
I did a reading a day or so ago, and actually I was quite pleased to be asked to do this. A 92-and-a-half-year-old gentleman, okay? Never had a reading before, and was encouraged to listen to one of my Love Never Dies radio show broadcasts, besides being around a daughter who's very much open to all this, okay? All right? And it was one of the important parts of that message was that he says, I don't see the signs that my wife's around me. How do I know she's not there? She's not with me. And I said, well, you think of her, don't you? And he says, yeah. I said, that doesn't necessarily mean you are thinking of her. She could be planning those thoughts in your mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think,
Yeah.
not to interrupt you, but
Sure.
more people need to be aware of that, especially with the pets. And I say that because I only wish, my one wish now is that I had been more aware when Romeo was ill, or been more aware right after he passed. I wish it hadn't taken as long as it did to come across June and her to say, You know he's there. I had, but I needed somebody to say it so that I didn't think I was crazy.
Right. And the other piece of this message I want to share is, I said, you feel her when you're in bed, don't you? He says, yeah. I said, there. And this is her way of showing you signs that she's around, by giving you memories in your mind, by you sensing her next to you. And actually, it was spooning, and that was right on, you know? So it's almost as if we need to allow ourselves to be aware, okay? Go that extra step to believe, right? Like this Earthangel, back as a puppy, probably about the year of 2001 or so, okay? I adopted him. I was guided to where he was. I didn't know how important he was going to be. He was an important companion to me. He was a little protector and a healer. And 2 weeks after this picture was taken, you can see it there well. So it's a little hard because when animals are all one color, it's hard to see them. 2 weeks thereabouts after this, he got very sick, and I was guided to take him to get a shot to. I had no clue. I had no clue that we were setting our relationship up to take it to another level. To take it to the level where I could hear him, I could feel him, I could see him. But so he could also help the animals. He is with all these other animals that are around us. I'm feeling like Romeo and him have met because you and I are connected. I know he's met Jake, who is another person's animal. Jake, matter of fact, passed a few months back. Beautiful Labrador. I think Labrador Retriever, big dog though, big dog. And he comes in and does a big whoop. It's like, I'm here, that's his year. So, is there any other things you would like to say or somebody else would like to share before I close? Everybody good? So, next week's show, as I've said before, I'm not quite sure who's going to be the guest, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be a great show, because it will be a great show. Spirit is giving me the guidance of who to bring on, okay? And I want to also share two things here. Love Never Dies show next week, Wednesday, is going to be a show where I do messages for people, mediumship messages. It's called Messages of Love from Heaven. So if you join us, hopefully you'll be able to get a message, okay? The other thing I want to tell you, and this is going to surprise a number of people, but that's okay. And if for some reason, because of this change I'm making, you'll understand in a moment, someone misses out on a show or something of that nature, they're going to be recorded. They will be on the YouTube channel. I am going to be changing the starting time of my shows and all the classes and events that I'm doing. It's going to be an hour earlier. Because what I'm finding is that there are people who, on the East Coast, I have more people on the East Coast that I'm connected to. And that's probably tied to the fact that That's where I'm from originally, okay? And so I'm going to be starting everything at 5 o'clock here in Sedona. So the East Coast, like this show here, will be starting at 8 p.m. Love Never Dies will be starting at 8 p.m. East Coast time, okay? Massachusetts, New Hampshire, New York. My meditation and message circle on Tuesday nights will be starting on at 5 o'clock here, and then 8 o'clock in your Eastern Standard Time. Okay. So thank you everybody for joining us. I send lots of love. I ask that everybody be safe and well. And let's keep sending out some positive thoughts and prayers to this entire planet as we go through this major transformation, and do our best to focus on the positive. Okay? God bless everyone. Thanks for being here, and thanks for listening. Have a great week.